This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, December 30th, 2025. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Trump says he would unleash very powerful consequences if Iran takes steps to restock its missile arsenal or rebuild its nuclear program. Jeff Murdoch reports the president issued the threat after meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and said the U.S. would act immediately if Iran revives its nuclear program. Trump said he had heard Iran was trying to rebuild its weapons capabilities at sites different from the three the U.S. attacked in June. Still, he emphasized that any Iranian activity had not been confirmed. China's military has begun large-scale end-of-the-year military drills around Taiwan, delivering warnings to Japan and the United States. Bill Gertz reports the forces are engaged in an encirclement of the island in sea-air combat readiness patrols, joint seizure activities, and practice blockades of key ports and other island zones. The latest military exercises were launched amid recent tensions with Japan over statements by Prime Minister Sanai Takachi suggesting Tokyo would defend Taiwan from an attack and an $11 billion arms sale to Taiwan that China denounced as aiding separatist forces. Legal barriers and scarce resources have long constrained states' authority in the involuntary commitment of mentally ill people who are homeless. Yet growing numbers of those individuals have made involuntary or civil commitment a more viable option for policymakers nationwide. Sean Salai reports California, Oregon, Utah, Texas, and New York are among the states that have moved to expand their legal criteria for forcing the homeless into psychiatric detox, and dozens of city governments have moved to criminalize homeless people dwelling in public spaces. New HUD policies implement an executive order from President Trump to prioritize funds for state initiatives that ban public drug use, require psychiatric treatment, and remove homeless individuals from public spaces. Federal authorities have brought voting cases against at least a dozen immigrants this year, accusing them of casting ballots despite not having attained U.S. citizenship. Stephen Dinan reports the Justice Department has been conducting its own review, running the names of 47.5 million people from states' voter rolls and finding several thousand non-citizens registered to vote. The Department of Homeland Security, which had previously been accused of hindering states that wanted to run their voter registration rolls through government databases, also moved to streamline the process and reduce fees. And finally, American presidents have long released rosy medical assessments of their physical and mental health, but those flattering reports are often undercut by public skepticism and fresh revelations of problems. Although the assessments have never been known for transparency, Jeff Murdoch reports recent disclosures about President Trump and former President Biden have re-energized calls for the White House to be more open about medical reports. The two oldest men to ever serve as president both released glowing medical reports, eroding public trust in the process. Some are calling for reforms, while others wonder why the White House engages in the process in the first place. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.